There is something I need to discuss with you before we meet my parents tomorrow for the wedding. My dad is a very rigid and inflexible man, and he has a hard time accepting anything that does not conform to his standards of propriety. I have a feeling that he might make some very unpleasant and disrespectful remarks to you tomorrow, Maverick. But please don't let that bother you too much. I'm confident that everything will work out in the end. Just be aware that he will interrogate you about money and work and all of those things. So maybe you should prepare some answers for him in advance, just to be on the safe side.
I can empathize with this situation. He is handing over his precious daughter to a stranger that he's never seen face to face before, and that must be very stressful for him. And I'm sure he wants to make sure that you are with someone who is trustworthy and reliable. So he has to verify that I have a stable and lucrative job that can provide for us and take good care of you in any circumstance.
Well, don't expect it to be a smooth and easy meeting, okay? Just brace yourself for him to give you a hard time. He is a very obstinate and stubborn man, and that makes me anxious a little. But deep down, once he gets to know you better, he is as cuddly and soft as a teddy bear.
You don't have to sugarcoat it. He has a gorgeous daughter, and so he has to be stubborn to fend off all the men who are attracted to you. And besides, Lucinda, your dad is a successful business owner, right? So he's always had to maintain a strict and tough demeanor while ensuring his company thrives.
Well, I believe that you are the ideal man for me, and that you can impress my dad. That's why I decided to introduce you to him. But if my dad can just see how deeply you love me and how fiercely you want to protect me, that would be enough, I think. Everything else should fall into place after that.
I'll do my best.
Also, even though we are meeting them tomorrow, he wants to have a chat with you before that.
Huh? Before we all gather together? So he wants to meet me today then?
Yes, I think he just wants to get acquainted with you now so that you guys can have a more productive conversation when we all meet. That's why I want to give him your contact information right now. Is that okay with you?
You can, but...
If he says anything weird or inappropriate to you, you can just disregard it, okay? Alright, I'll tell him right away.
Alright then, thank you.
I'm Lucinda's father, Roman. I'm eager to meet you, and I'm excited to see you both as well. You are aware that I run my own business, right?
Yes, I certainly am.
Of course you are. That must mean you are after my fortune, right?
I'm not in this for your money at all. I have plenty of money of my own. So there are no issues there. And the reason that I'm with your daughter is because I intend to love her for eternity. I can comprehend that you would be concerned about me, but if you would be so kind as to trust me, then everything would be fine.
What is your profession? You don't look like a doctor or a lawyer.
That's correct, I'm not. But the work I do is very rewarding to me. So you have nothing to fret about.
Are you not going to reveal to me what exactly you do for a living? Does that mean that the work you do is abhorrent?
Not at all, sir. I just feel more comfortable telling you about my line of work when we meet face to face. I would be able to elaborate in more detail on everything related to the work I do. And so I request that you please wait to hear from me tomorrow.
Well, I won't hold my breath for you, and I will not permit my daughter to marry anyone who is below middle class. I have a company of my own under my control, so I can find someone more suitable to marry her for me.
I want to make it clear, Lucinda has already made up her mind to marry me. And so the reason we are seeing you and your wife tomorrow is to demonstrate my love and devotion for her. So I would appreciate it immensely if you could muster some faith in your daughter's choice.
It must require a tremendous amount of audacity for a young man like yourself to speak to me in that manner. Make sure you're fully prepared for tomorrow.
Well, then I'll be getting myself ready for tomorrow.
I forbid you to ever see my daughter again. You are banned from ever approaching her again in your entire life, Maverick. You're not worthy of her love or her presence. You're a disgrace to our family.
Do you have any idea what you have just done to me? What you just perpetrated was a criminal act. You assaulted me with a weapon and you left a mark on my face.
A criminal act, huh? And on what grounds do you say that? What evidence do you have to support your claim?
I came over there to meet you and your wife today, before your daughter and I tied the knot, and you decided to hit me in the face with your ashtray? How could that not be a criminal act? I can't understand why you did such a thing to me when I came to you with respect and goodwill.
I didn't just do it for no reason. You work for the city's public transportation. And that's why I made a deliberate choice to whack you on the head with that ashtray. That was my way of safeguarding my family from crooks like you. You thought you could fool me with your lies and your charm, but I saw right through you.
I'm sure you know what it means to safeguard your family and all, but you've gone too far. You have made a huge mistake.
I was just ensuring that my daughter was well shielded from a swindler. I'm trying to protect her from a con artist like you.
Shielded her? What did I do that was endangering her? What did I do that was wrong? I love her with all my heart, and she loves me too. We are happy together, and we want to spend the rest of our lives together.
A low-class public transportation worker was trying to snatch my daughter from me. I never once agreed that I would let my daughter join someone that low in our society. I have a company to run and preserve, but having someone of your caliber in the family would ruin it. I will never let you near her again, so things are over here. Now scram! Get out of my sight. Don't ever show your face to me again.
You realize that I can't just scram now, right?
What did you say? No matter how much you try to resist me, it will be futile. I will never allow my daughter to become low class like you. Do you understand? And of course, I will do whatever it takes to stop you.
Well, if you plan to use that as your sole justification, then you will be tearing apart our engagement. You will rue that, Roman. And I'm sure that you will regret that decision for the rest of your life.
Rue it? You are the one who will be ruining everything here. I will make sure that you are filled with ruse. If you just thought about all of this, you would understand why, right? You are a simple transportation worker, and you will never be able to get your hands on Lucinda. You are not good enough for her. If me hitting you in the head with that ashtray has awakened you to that, then go away. Leave us alone. Got it?
Then this engagement to your daughter is terminated. I will not waste my time with you anymore.
Go away, you low-life trash. You are nothing but a piece of garbage. To me, you are nothing but a joke.
And would you please inform Lucinda that we are done as well for me? I am not some public transportation worker, but if that's what you want to persist in thinking, then be my guest. You can keep living in your delusions, but you can't change the reality.
Huh? What are you insinuating here?
I can tell that explaining myself any further will be pointless. So I am done with what I have said. The next time we talk, we'll be in a courtroom. You will face the consequences of your actions. Just wait.
Courtroom? What are you talking about? Are you threatening me? What are you planning to do?
What you just did to me today was battery. You attacked me with a deadly weapon. You caused me bodily harm. So of course, I will sue you for battering me. I'm sure that I will make you pay for what you did. So brace yourself, Roman. You are in big trouble.
You think you can sue me with what meager money you have? I own a company, Maverick. I have a plethora of lawyers at my beck and call, so there is nothing you can do to me. Taking me to court will only squander what meager money you have left. But let's ponder for a second. Do you even have the money to hire a lawyer of your own?
I'm not sure what your motive is for demeaning me this much, but I'm not some public transportation worker. I just gave you a simple description of my work, and you came to that erroneous conclusion yourself. I work for the Transportation Bureau for this city. I have a lot more money and influence than you think.
Huh? The Transportation Bureau? What does that mean? What do you do there?
I'm sure me saying that is a bit too obscure for you, but the work I do is a lot more important than you have come to think. I have to work with plenty of politicians as well regarding my work, I have connections and contacts that you can't even imagine.
Huh? Politicians? What are you talking about? What kind of work do you do with them?
Without having to go too far into detail regarding the precise details, hearing that I work with the government has you pretty thrilled now, right? But I suppose that happened after all you did to me today. You hitting me in the face with that ashtray will become quite the trouble for you here soon. You have no idea who you have messed with.
Wait a minute, Maverick. What kind of prank is this? How could the Transportation Bureau be collaborating with politicians? That doesn't make any sense. Stop messing with me, Maverick.
Well, if you want to persist in believing that I'm pulling your leg, that's your choice. I have a lot of things that I have to deal with now, so I have to leave. If you're still curious about which of us two will still be feeling remorse today, I'll help you discover the answer. I'll show you the truth and who I really am.
Maverick, where the hell are you now? Pick up the phone right now.
Did something happen with you? You sound very anxious and worried.
Maverick, this doesn't have anything to do with you, does it? Please tell me you're not behind this.
What are you referring to? I have no idea what you're talking about.
There has been some pressure coming from somewhere, and it is causing my company to collapse. And because of that, my company wants to replace its CEO. If things continue like this, then I'm going to be kicked out of the company. What the hell is going on here, Maverick? Are you implying that this is all because of me hitting you earlier? Is this your revenge?
Well, I wonder about that one, Roman. Maybe you should think hard about what you did to me.
How dare you? Tell me right now, you little punk. I'm asking you a very serious question right now. Don't play games with me.
Even if you're taking things seriously now, you're way too late. You did, in fact, hit me in the face with an ashtray, right? That was a very stupid move on your part. I ended up calling some people I know about that, and they transferred me to people that could really help. Do you now comprehend the gravity of what you've done to me? Do you realize how much trouble you're in?
Even if I do comprehend now, I'm in deep trouble. Did you tell my daughter about this as well? Right now, she's livid with me for hitting you in the head with that plastic ashtray. She won't even talk to me or look at me.
Are you wondering why she might be angry with you? You don't have to have any more uncertainties about it. She's appalled by what you ended up doing and has no confidence left in you. She's disgusted by your behavior and your violence.
She told me that if I can't fix things, she never wants to see me again. Why? She's never behaved this way before to me. She's always been my little princess, my pride and joy.
She's told me that she's not only furious but wants to abandon you forever. And she has a right to. You hit her fiancé in the face with a literal ashtray. How could you do that to someone you claim to love? I had to go to the hospital to get help after that. So, if you're going to start begging me to make things better for you, you're already too late, as I've turned in a report of you assaulting me. You're going to pay for what you did.
Huh? A report on me? That's nothing but a joke. I told you, I've had enough of your jokes, Maverick. Stop that nonsense now. I would never let you report me for anything. If that actually happened, then I would really lose everything to do with my company. And that wouldn't only just affect me in the end, but my wife and my daughter as well. You can't do this to me, Maverick. You can't ruin my life like this.
Come on now. Even though you want to keep rejecting the truth, it's already in motion due to your actions earlier. So really, no matter what you try and say to me now, your time has come. You've crossed the line, Roman. And there's no going back.
My time has come? There's no chance I'm apologizing to you right now, so you can put all your games to an end now. I don't owe you anything, Maverick. You're just a spoiled brat who can't take a little hit.
Do you really think I care for your apologies now after you wasted so much time whining to me? You not only hurt me physically with a literal piece of filthy plastic, but when I got to the hospital and told the police how I got my injuries, they helped me write up that report. You're going to face the consequences of your actions, Roman. You're going to face the law.
But wait a minute. All I did was lose my temper a little bit too quickly. And that's a good enough reason to involve the police? That's ridiculous, Maverick. You're overreacting. It was just a minor incident, nothing serious.
With how sharp and hard that ashtray was, if you'd hit me in the right place, you could have had seriously injured me. Do you understand that? You put all your force into that blow, and it messed me up bad. Thank God I have a thick skull on me. But you still left a nasty bruise on my face and a scar on my soul.
Please, if you give this up, I'm going to lose my family as well. At least stop yourself from keeping the police involved. Have some mercy on me, Maverick. Have some compassion.
Both your wife and daughter are already fed up with you now, so there's no avoiding them leaving you. They've seen your true colors, Roman, and they don't like what they see. They've had enough of your lies, your anger, your violence.
Huh?
Your family already realizes that they can't stay near you, and so there's little you can do to stop them. So even if I don't keep the police involved, things will not change. Understand that maybe it is time you take this all upon yourself and be accountable for your actions. Is there anything else you'd like to say to me now, or are you finally speechless?
I get it. I understand your point. I let you marry my daughter. I will let you marry my daughter and take her away from me. But if you leave things as they are, I'll be screwed. I'll lose everything I have. If you can't take my word and marry my daughter now, then what else am I supposed to do for you? How else can I prove my sincerity to you?
Lucinda and I are already married, Roman. We don't need your permission or your blessing.
Huh? What did you just say?
But you are not going to be a part of the family. You are not welcome in our lives.
Well, if you're already married to my daughter, then why are you doing all of this? Why do you keep coming at me? Why do you keep tormenting me?
I'm not coming at you whatsoever, Roman. Lucinda herself is already well into her adult life. And so, if she says she's wanting to marry me, then it is decided. It's her choice, not yours. But of course, if you'd just been a bit strict with me and said no, I might have tried a bit harder to gain your trust. I might have respected your authority. However, instead you chose to be violent and hit me in the head. And so now your family can no longer trust you nor feel safe around you. This is all because your inability to act as a respectable man yourself. And so now I have to defend myself and my wife from you. I have to protect her from your rage.
Don't you feel like you're taking this too far, though? Don't you think you're being too harsh on me?
I want to make sure that you understand what you've done and regret it. And I will not stop until that day has come for you. You're already too late to stop me now. So just give up on trying anything. So now how do you feel about talking to the police? How do you feel about facing the consequences of your actions?
The police? So then you were serious about that? You weren't bluffing? What is your goal? And I mean your real goal. Do you want my money or something? Is that what this is all about? How much of it? I'll get it for you. So just tell me however much you want. Name your price.
That's it right there, Roman. That's the problem.
Huh? What are you talking about?
I do not need your money. And I've said that already before, right? And I'm not in any way financially struggling, so don't act as though I want anything of yours. Yet all you keep thinking about is money. That's why this has happened. You thought that I wanted to marry your daughter for your money. But that was just not the case. I love her for who she is, not for what she has. And even if it was, that's no excuse to hit me with an ashtray. Shouldn't this all be something you knew before you had a family? Shouldn't you have learned to respect other people's feelings and choices?
I understand that now. I see where I went wrong.
You don't understand. And that's why this is still going on. You just asked me how much of your money I wanted, because you still think that's what it's all about. You still don't get it. You should learn from all of this. That not everyone on this planet is worried about money like you. That money can't buy you love or happiness. Well, it doesn't matter if you learn or not. Now, I've already got the police involved, and I have the injuries to prove you assaulted me. You're going to pay for what you did. Not with money, but with justice.
I'll pay for you to get treated. Please, I'm Jenny's father, Maverick. I'm your father-in-law. Don't do this to me.
I know that, and that's why you decided to hit me, right? Because you thought you had some authority over me. Because you thought you could go and do whatever you wanted to me. Well, you were wrong. Now, I'll be going. I have nothing more to say to you.
Wait a second. Forgive me right now. Please, I'm begging you. I'm sorry for what I did.
And as a final note, you have your answer. You're the one that's going to be regretting all of this. You're going to lose your family and your dignity. Goodbye, Roman. Have fun in jail. And after that, the police came and arrested Roman, which shocked everyone because he was so furious. They took him to the police station and interrogated him to find out everything they could about the report that I filed. And fortunately enough, he admitted that it was all true and made things much easier for me. He was also removed from his position as CEO of the company, as they learned from me what was happening. And after being ousted from the position, he was given no severance and was fired for violating company policy. And that was because he was a criminal. He also lost all his family and is pretty much ruined now, as he tries to grasp why this has all happened so fast. His wife left their house almost instantly after seeing the police take him away, and she hired a lawyer to work on the divorce. And Lucinda stayed to tell him that she wanted nothing to do with him anymore. But then, after her final words, she left the house too. During that time, I was working with my lawyer to make sure that I did get some compensation from him for what he had done to me. But, as I said before, I was not really in the need of his money. And so after going through court and winning the case, he gave me $15,000 to pay for both my hospital bills and for the emotional distress. I used that money afterward to pay for Lucinda's and my wedding, and considered that money as a gift from her dad to help support our marriage. Of course, I did spend some of that money on medical expenses, as I had to undergo a lot of tests to make sure that my brain was okay, as well as having to get stitches for the wound on my head. There was also a small crack in my skull that I had to monitor, and that alone shows how hard he had hit me with that ashtray. Also, since Lucinda was already married to me before she left her dad, she didn't have to worry about where to go next after leaving the house. And so she moved in with me and never had to worry about her dad again, ever since he lost everything. Not much is known about where he went, but I'm sure wherever that may be, he's trying his best to get back on top. But of course, that will be impossible.
Hey, dispatch worker. Why did you go home before me? You have no manners even though you're a dispatch worker? Just because it's your first day here doesn't mean you can be lax. Reply to my text, dispatch worker. Good evening, Mr. Cobb. My name isn't dispatch worker, it's Jack Morrow. Who cares about that? I'm asking why you went home earlier than me. Are you underestimating us or something? Do you even have a will to work? Listen up, if you're going to work under me, then I'm going to have to be strict on you. Even if you are just a lowly dispatch worker. I'm not going to let you not take your work seriously. If I may, I think it can't be helped if a dispatch worker goes home earlier than the full-time employees. What? Do you think this job is a game or something? I intend to do my work properly, and I think I worked hard enough today as well. Then why did you disobey me and go home early? I told you not to go home before your superiors, but you didn't follow my orders. Besides, who said a dispatch worker like you could even have an opinion? It's not my opinion. I'm just talking about my terms of employment. Huh? Your terms of employment? There needs to be a regular employee with me while I'm doing work. Making part-time workers or dispatch workers do stuff on their own is banned. The only people who can lock the doors of the factories and the offices in this branch office are the full-time employees who have keys. The only 3 people left were me, you, and the part-time worker Miss Knox, so if you were to go home, then me and Miss Knox would have to go home as well, right? But if you do that, then there's going to be unfinished work. But isn't it going to be a problem if you just leave me in the office? Not only that, I'd like to correct you on a fundamental error in your logic. What is it? In the first place, I wasn't assigned to work in the factory. I was assigned to work in the office. What? Really? Yes. I was temporarily dispatched since the office was suddenly extremely low on staff because of people suddenly going on parental leave or having to be hospitalized. It was decided from the start that I would only be working here for 3 months until the employees return. Seriously? By the way, the only reason I did a bit of work in the factory today was because our managers thought that it would help with my work if I got to know how things were in the factories. I'm going to be doing desk work at the office from tomorrow. So you're not the one who's going to give me orders. The supervisor in the office is. Oh, is that so? Are we all right now? Oh, yeah, you can go now. Well then, goodbye. So you weren't one of my subordinates. I'm misleading. Hey, dispatch worker. My name is Jack, Mr. Cobb. It seems your dispatch period ends today, huh? Yes, thank you for having me. I mean, I guess it's only obvious for an impolite person who doesn't listen to what others say like you to be fired. What is it? There's no use trying to flatter me now, it's too late. I told you on my first day of work, right? It was decided that my dispatch period would be for 3 months from the start. There was no plan of extending the period either, so it's not that I'm being fired. Oh, is that so? Again, thank you for having me. Goodbye. Wait, I thought that I had seen you somewhere before, but to think, you're Jack, right? The dispatch worker who was fired after 3 months 5 years ago? That reminds me. They were saying that several dispatch workers will be joining the factory workforce today. I see. This means at this time for sure you've been dispatched as one of my subordinates. Hold on, you're still living on that low salary of a dispatch worker after even 5 years? It seemed that you were quite the useless worker. It looks like it's almost time for the morning assembly. I heard that some high-ranking person from a new department at the company headquarters is going to be visiting today. I'm going to show the people in the main company how competent I am, and at the same time show you how things are going to be around here as your boss. Why did you punch me as soon as the morning assembly started? It's only natural that useless low-ranking employees like you get punched. Work your ass off today as well. It seems you still don't understand the position you're in. Huh? Why don't you think about this carefully? No matter what the reason is, punching someone will cause a huge commotion. Don't you think that under regular circumstances you would have been subdued on the spot? No one stopped me because everyone knows that my style of education is flawless and correct. No, the reason no one stopped you even though you punched me is because I had told everyone prior not to lay their hands on you until I say so. What? Now, I saw the text you sent me before this morning assembly. That's when I remembered that there were rumors about you going about in the company headquarters, but how you weren't doing well with your employees' relationships. And so I decided to not say anything and see how you would behave. I'm going to send this conversation to HQ. I kindly ask for your cooperation. Huh? Why are you talking as if you're the one heading the morning assembly? You're just a dispatch worker. I see. So you really haven't noticed yet. What is it? I came from the company headquarters. You came from HQ? Yes, I am now a full-time employee who works at HQ. By the way, I'm also the head of compliance starting from this year. What? I'll answer your questions in detail later. It looks like the swelling on my cheek is quite serious, so I'm going to go to the clinic. Hey, hold on! Since when were you a full-time employee who worked at HQ? Hey, you should be home by now, right? What's the meaning of this? Explain it to me right now. It means that you're banned from coming to work. Yes, it was really tough for me after that, you know? Immediately after I finished texting you, I was called by the head of this branch office and told not to come to work anymore. All I did was try to teach you your place as a lowly, useless dispatch worker. Why are you now the head of a new department at HQ? It's only been 5 years. When did all this happen? Well, it happened 5 years ago. While I was working here as a dispatch worker for 3 months, I noticed that the work done on computers in this branch office is quite inefficient. So I did as much as I could as a dispatch worker to optimize the speed of work. The head of this branch office and even people from HQ noticed what I had done, and they were kind enough to give me a job at HQ as a full-time employee. But even still, how were you able to become a department head in only 5 years? As regards to that, I'm not the only one. 2 years ago, I was invited to be one of the founding members of the new department, and the head of this new department was an employee aged 34. Huh? The head was the same age as me? It might look like he was promoted to a high position at an extremely young age when you compare it to the rest of the company. But the average age of this new department was 28. Considering this, I think you'll find it more believable that I was eventually chosen to become the head at the age of 30. Seriously? Well, there's really no point in me talking about my job, so I'll stop talking about this topic. What I wanted to talk about is how you suddenly punched me, who came from HQ to see how things were going here during today's morning assembly. I didn't know. I heard that new dispatch workers will be joining the factory workforce today, and that's when I saw you, so I assumed that you were here as a dispatch worker again. But I heard that the new dispatch workers would be coming tomorrow. What? It seems you didn't know the company's schedule, but that's not the point. No matter who the other person is, and no matter what your positions are, punching someone in the face is most of the time frowned upon. I just had a little misunderstanding. Don't you think we need to take that into consideration? Even if I were a dispatch worker, punching me in the face would have been a serious offense. It's not as if you were protecting yourself as well. You obviously just suddenly punched me. That's the reason you're being punished. Come on, I'm begging you. I'm about to get married. You're getting married? I plan on proposing to her soon. And my girlfriend is waiting for me to propose to her as well. You got a girlfriend? You know her as well, right? It's Miss Knox, the part-time worker from the office. What? Ms. Knox? But I was suddenly told not to come to work, so... if I may. I want to find happiness with her. But Ms. Knox is the wife of the factory head's son, didn't you know? What? It seems that she goes by her maiden name, Knox, while at the company. You're lying. Her husband is an employee at HQ, so I know him. They have a child who's turning 10 this year, if I remember correctly. No way, that's impossible. But Miss Knox comes to meet me every morning. Miss Knox is in charge of handing out the things that came with delivery to each department, right? Of course she comes to the factory every day. During lunch break too, she brings me lunch boxes to make herself look good as a wife. But I heard that her husband was in charge of making their lunch boxes. It seems that there's one more thing that we need to investigate. Hold on. I'm going to report this to HQ. Don't do this, please. Sorry, but the cheek which you punched still stings, so... I have bigger problems. Goodbye. I'm impressed someone like him was able to become the manager. But it seems like he was fairly competent at his actual work, which is why he was promoted in the first place. That being said, though, luckily I wasn't seriously injured when Mr. Cobb punched me in the face. But obviously I couldn't just let it go, so I filed a report on him. Ms. Knox, who he had apparently been stalking, filed a report on him as well. We have no intention of settling this outside of court with him. After the whole debacle, Mr. Cobb was now in possession of a criminal record and was fired from the company. He used all the money he had saved up to pay for the alimonies, which were massive. Me and Ms. Knox had asked from him, and he was forced to start over from scratch. No, it was even worse than starting over from scratch for him, as he was now in the possession of a criminal record. Unless he does something about how he treats other people, I doubt he'll be able to live a happy life in the future.